Good evening to everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Voice. How's everybody doing? God bless you guys. God bless my country of Mexico, my city of Tijuana, and God bless the United States of America. Let's thank God that we are alive another day with 2 arms, 2 legs, a mind that we can think, and a heart that we can feel, and eyes that we can see. How's everybody doing? My God, man. Thursday for everybody. I have a beautiful guest today. It's more than what she has done for her country. It's more of what she's doing now. It's not the mission that what you were put on this planet is what you can do for this planet as your mission continues. This young lady by their name Athena Ives, please share this video as we can get a little bit more audience and we can get in here. Super chat is on the bottom for people who want to contribute and donate to our work. God bless you all. And her name is Athena Ives. She is a retired combat Marine veteran. My God, she has traveled so much to the world. She has seen so much. Specifically, we want to talk about right now the trafficking of children. It's one of the things that she is really meticulous about. She knows a lot about things. She came down one time to Tijuana. She came all the way from San Diego to town to my city of Tijuana. We talked for we went and had breakfast. We talked for an hour and some minutes. And it was really interesting to hear all the things that she has seen in Thailand and all the places around Asia. She has traveled also through Europe, I think South America also. She has seen a lot of trafficking of children. And how this wave of trafficking of children, it is ricocheting now to the north, to the United States of America, and they're trying to make it appear like it's quite normal. And in the appearance of society and the appearance of the world right now, trafficking of children, arrangements of marriages, And trafficking of kids is becoming, and it has become, a multi-billion business. And we are completely distracted from the reality of what is happening, exactly what is happening with COVID. COVID is a reality, it's a virus, and it's killing people, it is depopulation. But I will tell you something, we are distracted by what is going on in Venezuela, what is going on in China, what is going on in Russia. Exactly what is happening with children is what they're doing. We are so distracted by some other things that the pedophilia and the child trafficking business continues. And it is a thing that it feeds the world. So I want to bring her into the live feed, and I want to say hi to her right now. So how's everybody doing? Good evening to everybody. Athena, how you doing,
Hello.
Athena?
Thank you for having me on.
This is Athena Ives, a Marine combat veteran. I'm so happy to have you on the show. We can talk about a lot of things, and one of the things that I really admire you is what you have done for your country, the United States of America. Tell us how many years you served and all the countries that you have been.
I served in the Marine Corps from 2006 to 2010. I wanted to stay in longer, but certain situations and laws changed and stuff happens in life. Anyways, I got out and I pursued my education because I knew I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help kids. Speaking of kids, is it too loud?
No, it's okay.
Okay. I wasn't sure about the background noise. I got a lot of noisy neighbors here.
You're good.
So I got out and I pursued my degree. I obtained a master's in forensics, specializing in investigations and child predators. The reason I did that was because I am the kind of person that I love science. Science helps me understand problems and it helps me cope with trauma from my past. And I have been studying child predators for over 20 years. After I got out of the Marine Corps, in 2008, I did deploy to Fallujah, Iraq, and I did see some of the atrocities that are happening to women and children abroad, not just in Iraq, but all over the world. It was sobering. You couldn't really do much. All you could be was an observer and see what was happening because it wasn't your country. It was not rules of engagement. We just had to observe and watch. It was painful what I saw, and it made me realize how much women are needed in infantry units because we have to be there to be able to search and talk to and even look at the women. Anyhow, after I got out, I went and traveled the world, and that was eye-opening. We in the United States and other more developed countries, we don't realize what freedom really means.
Exactly.
We are so sheltered. We are so privileged. And as a female traveling solo, it opened my eyes. There were countries where I was, thought less upon. I was disrespected. I was, harassed sexually, verbally. The stuff that happens overseas really opened my eyes. And it wasn't to the point where I felt unsafe. And some of the countries were incredibly loving and the people were absolutely amazing. But still, even in those countries, women always don't have equal rights as the men do. And legislation and laws might say that they do, but actual cultural practices, they don't follow the law. And that happens all over the world, that there are certain rules. Prostitution's illegal, that's happening everywhere. Sex trafficking is illegal, that's happening everywhere. And there's a lack of prosecution for these crimes, and sex crimes in general are one of the hardest crimes to prove and to prosecute.
Yeah.
And I'm painfully aware of that because my degree is in forensics, and I know the amount of evidence you need, the errors that could go wrong so easily with evidence. It's a mess. Our justice system here in the United States is an absolute disaster when it comes to sex crimes, sex trafficking, all of the above. And you did bring up COVID. You brought up different things that are distracting us. Yes,
Hmm.
they are problems. People are dying. I'm not going to mitigate that at all. I'm not saying that it's not real. I'm not saying it's a hoax. All I'm saying is that I don't believe that people are really taking into consideration the choices, our choices that we make, whether that's to go and have our freedom and stand up for our rights and go out and party with masses and protest in mass groups, or the governors and the different decision makers that can close down schools, close down coffee shops, close down malls. They aren't taking into consideration the children.
Yes.
It breaks my heart because as a child, I lived with my abusers, and school, when I was homeschooled, and I grew up in a religious cult, and until my parents could not teach me anymore, homeschooled, because they had to shelter us and keep us segregated from the rest of the world because they didn't want us to find out the
Wow.
truth.
Wow.
Yeah, so they kept me segregated from the public until I
Amazing.
got into public school. So when I got to public school and high school, it was the only place I ever felt safe. That's
Wow.
what these kids are going through. When you have toxic, chronic exposure to children's developing brains, they have research out there that shows that some of these children's brains have the same amount, or if not more, damage than a traumatic brain injury from a combat veteran.
Amazing.
This
Now,
does not go away.
yes, I want to ask you
Yeah.
because that's one of the things that you have studied. What can you do to help a child with a trauma because you went through it and you experienced it? But it has a lot of process. It's not easy to just approach a child that has been abused.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you were telling me, and it's a reality, as I've been telling my audience, we are being distracted from the number one problem, and the problem is in our homes, in our communities, where
Yep.
sex trafficking, sex abuse, child trafficking,
Mm-hmm.
child abuse,
Yes.
all of this that is happening. How can you approach a child right now in the United States of America that is right now contaminated with all this pedophilia, child trafficking, and sex trafficking? How can you approach a child that has a problem and let him speak and let him, ventilate and tell you, I have a problem in the house?
I wish I knew. I really do. I wish I knew, because it is so broken here that if a child reports, the mandated reporters right now aren't working. The school teachers, the
Hmm.
people that are around the kids that have to report
Exactly.
when they see the physical, the
Number one
emotional
problem
abuse.
in the schools.
Yes. And right now, all they could really do was report it. In first time in history, there has been more minors reporting child abuse than ever before. There
Wow.
has been a significant increase in severity of child abuse that is requiring hospitalization than ever before.
Wow.
It's like 50% less calls of child abuse. So these kids are being groomed right now. They're being abused right now. Their brains are being damaged right now. And we're focused on Epstein, we're focused on COVID, we're focused on everything else. We, as we should, but we also should be considering, we need to weigh it out. What are the consequences of our choices?
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
the
the problem starts at home, and that's where the problem is. I wanted to ask you something because this is where your specialty is. It's the marriages that they're being arranged right now. That is absolutely disgusting. What I was reading, what you were posting,
yes,
and ultimately what we've been talking about since the last time that we met. That I told you about the child trafficking that is occurring in the caravans through nonprofit organizations. That is
Mhm.
amazing, that is continuing, and not to make it political, because I don't want everybody to make this political. No Democrat, no Republican. This is a problem that occurs with Republicans and Democrats.
Yes.
This is a problem that is occurring right now in the United States of America, and
Globally.
and yes, horribly. And it is a business. It is so disgusting that it's a business. Now, can you explain to me right now what is happening with the arranged marriages? Because it sounds so complicated, but for you it's so easily to explain, really. Because
Yes.
with me, when I'm Athena, when I'm looking at it, I'm feel so disgusted when I'm like, God, my
100%.
God, are they really doing this?
Yes, absolutely. This is what the world doesn't want to talk about. This is what they are trying to hide. And I will not stop screaming and shouting about this until it ends, because there is legal child rape in the United States and in many other countries.
Wow.
If you put a ring on it, you can rape a child. That's crude, and that's, but that's the absolute truth of it. And we are living in a time where we are so developed. Our countries are developing. We are coming out with technology that's absolutely insane. We have set the legal age of consent worldwide pretty much is 18. Sex trafficking victims under the age of 18, or individuals under the age of 18 that are sex workers, are considered sex trafficking victims, because globally we have decided that a child under the age of 18 cannot consent to having sexual relations with an adult. And there are loopholes.
Yes.
That have not been changed, and there are people trying to lobby for these changes, and they are getting turned down in Congress and in other countries. There's other countries out there that have the legal age set at 18 with no exemptions. Now, legally, in the United States, we'll deal with immigration first. So the Immigration and Nationality Act, in the U.S., a child may petition for a visa for a spouse of a fiance living in another country, and a U.S. adult may petition for a visa for a minor spouse or fiance living abroad. Now, what does that mean? That means that a 13-year-old girl in the United States, this is a true story. I think she was either 12 or 13, or maybe even younger. Her family lived here. She was a U.S. citizen because she was born here. Her family took her back to Pakistan, forced her to marry her cousin, came back to the United States, applied for the spousal visa, which was approved, and her cousin was like 25, 30, much older than her. She did not want to marry him, but her family told her that she had to. This man raped her for years until she finally ran away, and she's a big person that speaks out against this and tries to lobby for the U.S. to ban child brides. Now, it blows my mind. From 2007 to 2017, 8,668 immigration visas were approved for fiancés or spouses for a minor.
Wow. Oh no. And I already know what organizations, what nonprofits, they are bringing all this. All that. Continue.
Two minors whose petitions were approved were 13 years old.
My God.
38 were 14 years old, 269 were 15 years old, and 1,768 were 16 years old. In 2013, they approved for a 71-year-old male United States citizen to marry a 17-year-old spouse from Guatemala. In 2011, they approved of a 14-year-old female to marry a 48-year-old male from Jamaica.
48-year-old. My God.
13-year-old girl to a 55-year-old man. 149 petitions involving a minor with an adult spouse or fiance. who is older than 40 years old, and 28, a child, 28 of them married men over 50.
Holy cow.
I don't care who you are. There is no case on this planet where a 13-year-old girl should be marrying a 55-year-old man. I don't care what planet you live on.
There's a comment right here, Athena. There's a comment, and I am going to read the comments because there's people that they want to ask questions. You can go ahead and ask questions to Athena. There's a comment here from Terry Christ. They're marrying children at the age of 9 years old. This is rape. What is your opinion on the perception on this? Because these words are really heavy. Rape.
Yes.
You know, these words are heavy in society, heavy in our world.
Well,
do you consider it?
More.
Yeah. Do you consider it that is rape?
100%.
100%. I agree with you. 100%.
100%.
And what is the way? Because this is disturbing, and it's actually we're in 2020, and it's just normal.
Oh, it gets worse.
Go ahead.
700 million women alive today were married before they were 18. 15 million more are married every single year. 27,390 girls, young, underage girls, are married every single day. 13% of Indian girls are married before they are 15, and 50% before they are 18. That's in India. India is the worst for child brides. Now,
God,
some of the reasons behind this, they're idiotic. They believe that it will prevent their child from being sexually assaulted when she gets older, so they try and marry her off quickly.
That is just a justification.
Exactly. They do it for religious reasons. They do it for cultural. They do it for socioeconomic, financial, whatever, for getting pregnant. That's the stupidest reason ever. Girls from the ages of 15 to 19 worldwide, the leading cause for death in that age group. What do you think it is?
This is amazing for me as I'm hearing it right now.
It blew my mind too. The leading cause of death in girls ages 15 to 19. You'd think it was like car accidents or something like.
Wow.
Childbirth.
My God. It's amazing. I want to thank contributor Mary Tando. Thank you so much for your contribution, $20. Thank you so much. Super chat is on the bottom for people that want to contribute and donate to our work. And now, Athena, this is continuing to happen. Not only, I have said it a million of times, and United States citizens, and I have said it, and a lot of people got mad with me, but really it is a reality. I live in Mexico. I know what I have. I know the problems that I have. And United States citizens are so pampered. Really, a lot of them are really pampered. And they think that they have it really difficult. You guys really don't understand in these kind of countries, my God. But the disturbing part is that this is actually an aggravated problem right now in the United States of America, Athena.
Yes, it's happening.
It is a huge problem. It is a window that has just been openly for everybody to start doing it. The loophole, the marriage loophole. Mm-hmm. How can we do something to close it, or how can we keep exposing this? Because this is horrible.
Yep. Legislation in the United States, it's happening. There is no federal law on child marriages in the United States. No federal law, because they feel it's an infringement on religious rights, which is complete ignorance. 248,000 children were married in the United States between 2000 and 2010. Now, the vast majority of these are young girls married to adult men. And in Massachusetts, the minimum age is 12 for girls and 14 for boys to get
Wow.
married. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
It is, it is a complete abuse of your infant childhood. It is, over here in Mexico, back in the day, I'm talking about, probably in the 60s, 70s, it was really accustomed to get married
You want
at
to
the
know
age, at the
you
age
want
of
to know the
14,
stats?
15. Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead. Tell me.
So the stats for Mexico, 26% of girls are married before 18, and 4% are married before their 15th birthday. 4%, 15 years old, and Mexico is 7th in the world for child bride rates.
Yes, that is that I believe that absolutely. Now, this has been a problem. I've been exposing this. You have been more exposing this since the longest of time because you are more experienced. You've been traveling. Now, you have seen Thailand.
Mhm.
In Thailand, this is normal. And you started seeing this a long time ago. Did it ever went through your head what is happening in Thailand? One day it could start happening in your country, in the United States?
I don't think it ever stopped happening. I think it's been around since time began. It
Mhm.
dates back to when, brides and marriages weren't for love. They were for breeding and for preserving your bloodline and for, monarchs to hold their thrones. And it, that's kind of what's just carried throughout history. And it still blows my mind that this kind of stuff hasn't changed yet. And you do wonder why it hasn't changed. Why is it so hard to make it a federal law that states that I don't care, 18 and up, period.
That's it. I
And
want to thank Angie Slays for your contribution. Keep up the great work. Save the children. Thank you so much. And Virginia also, thank you so much. Athena, I want to get into a topic that you and we are, see eye to eye. What is going on with, the trafficking of children through Central America and all these caravans, and how the nonprofit organizations are making a lot of money through, using fake families and the loopholes of fake marriages. What you just said, this is actually happening. Now, it has a lot to do with the corruption of a fake birth certificate, because they're bringing a woman that actually is 15, 16 years old, and they bring a birth certificate that is she's actually 21, 22 years old. And the number is it's really remarkable. 6,800 fake families were discovered in 2019 and 2020, and 4,800 fake families were discovered between 2017 and 2018. One of the organizations that wants to dismantle the Department of Homeland Security is the ACLU, because the ACLU, I have seen it, they have made a lot of fake marriages and a lot of fake families. That is one of the things that they profit of. And all of these organizations, they haven't been prosecuted, they haven't been investigated. For God's sake, in 2014, I don't want to get political, but in 2014, in the administration of Obama, 90,000 kids got missing. You're like, what the hell's going on? Where are they? Like, where are all these children? You have seen it, that a lot of trafficking of children, it is occurring right now in our borders. It is a multi-billion business. And it's not only who's moving them. The most amazing thing is who's catching them over here. By saying move and catching them is like, who is buying them? Who is getting them? And the market is in the United States of America. The thing is that a lot of us are being distracted by what you just said. Androchrome, COVID, Epstein Island, and all this stuff. And we're not focusing on the main problem that is our borders. That is where the enormous trafficking of children also is occurring. Your opinion on that?
As far as other country goes, I do know it is an issue, but in the U.S., according to statistics and research, around 80% of trafficked victims are United States citizens. They aren't trafficked across borders.
Wow.
Yes, but with that, with the statistics, I mean, those are reported cases. What
Hmm.
about all the non-reported cases? There, you know, the other issue that immigration is having is they aren't tracking these visas to decide if, to actually see if the fiance ended up marrying them. So they get that fiance visa, they disappear. And a lot of people are using that as a way of, it starts out smuggling because that really is what it is.
Yes.
It both individuals enter into an agreement knowing that they are going, or believing they're going across the border to, for citizenship, for to live in the United States. But what a lot of times happens is they don't realize that they're actually being trafficked. So you get this, you know, 12-year-old from Mexico that, or 13, let's say 13 or 14-year-old from Mexico. And there's a man here that says, I can help you get away from, you know, the poverty in your village.
Yeah.
And I will love you. You know, your father never loved you. I will love you. I will show you an amazing life here. And she's excited. She, you know, he applies for her visa. She moves there, and all of a sudden she's being raped by all his friends in hotel rooms. That is how this kind of stuff happens. It's, you know, and then they use different methods to control them, such as, well, if you know, if you say anything, I will get you deported. I will kill you. I will kill your family. I will tell your family that you're a prostitute. They will disown you. A lot of cultures, they're they're not acceptable, they're not accepted back home. If you're raped, you're done. You can't marry, you're shunned. Many cultures are like this. So that's why these girls stay. It's like, well, you raped me, but I have nowhere to go. I actually, you know, I have food, I have a roof over my head, and they stay. And a lot of them don't even realize they are victims.
Wow. You know, and the trauma that occurs, and that is forever. You know, it doesn't go away. I experienced in Guatemala a lot of things, Athena, which one of the things that really attract me was that, in regarding to males, they're really, you know, a 12-year-old thinks as a 25-year-old. You know, they already know that they can go enter this recycle business. And, you know, these nonprofit people, they go down there, they actually tell them, hey, you know what, this is your dad, is Juan, this is your mom, is Maria. I will give you $1,000. I will give you $500 that you just, you know, pass it and make it believe that that is your parent and that is your mom. That is your dad and that is your mom. That is a recycle business that has been occurring a lot, a lot, a lot. Now that I want to ask you this, the lack of educations on these countries, they're world-class countries, are one of the things that, you know, gets them into this necessity of, you know, the money. In the United States, what do you think that it's the number one problem regarding exactly almost the same situation as you were just saying? Americans are the most trafficked, 80%. What do you think that is the solution for that? Because my God, it's 80%. You're talking about a large number, Athena. That is a huge number.
So what I meant by that was 80. Okay, so trafficking victims.
Yeah.
80% of trafficking victims in the United States are from the United States. 20% are brought in from other countries.
Oh, okay, okay,
That's
okay.
what I was
I get it. I get it. Now, can you talk to us about a little bit of what happened in Thailand? Your experience in Thailand, and how do you see the marriages over there in Thailand also, the sex trafficking, the child trafficking, and how do you think it's such as a difference right now of what is going on in the United States of America? Do you see a lot of a difference now in resemblance of situations?
It's common. It happens everywhere. And in that country, it's extremely difficult to determine age, because I've seen 30-year-old women that look like they're 14.
Wow,
And
they're genetically really young.
They resemble children. A lot of them do, and this is why so many sex tourists go there. And it dates back, a lot of this, the massive increase in sex trafficking actually dates back to Vietnam, with the Asian countries. And it dates back to Vietnam because we had soldiers over there. Other countries had soldiers in different locations throughout Asia, and they go back home. Oh, they had camps where they had prostitutes everywhere. And, not all of them were prostitutes. A lot of them were traffic victims. A lot of them just got raped by soldiers. And they went home and talked about the amazing, beautiful women there. And a lot of them, a lot of the women, it was their only way out.
Wow.
They were living in huts, and they would have to work for 2 months in a warehouse to be able to make what they could in a night. So you have, this is when I was doing field research. So this was back like in 2014, but the statistics were more from like 11, 12. So these are old facts, but still it's an ongoing problem. If not, it's just increasing the numbers. But I believe they're top 10 in tourist destinations in the world. And 80% of their tourism is sex tourism. And a vast majority of that is there for children. Oh, most of it's Western men.
Wow.
From Australia, from New Zealand, from America, from European countries. And it's their fetish. They like the young girls, the way they look.
Mal, do you think that, getting this liberty in these type of countries, it kind of like it opens up a huge window to make all these people that they live in the United States of America or my country of Mexico, to make them think that it's okay, over here, because they travel to all these countries and they do all these kind of disgusting situations, and then they come back to their country. They're saying like, hey, no, I just did it in Thailand. I just did it in India. It's okay over there, man. What are you talking about?
I don't
Go ahead.
necessarily. This might be an ignorant opinion of mine, but I believe that most of the world looks to the United States kind of as freedom, correct?
Yeah.
We are known for our freedom. They kind of look to us to, oh, well, it's illegal to do this here. It's illegal to do that here. And I don't know. I think that they know exactly. I know they know what they're doing is wrong. I still can't wrap my head around it. I can't even comprehend. A child's body was not biologically created to have sex with an adult. They weren't. You can go into the as soon as a girl has her first period, she can bear children. That was, biologically, we have adapted from that because that was more of, in my opinion, like a survival type thing, because before the world was populated, they need to be able to procreate and have children and grow the world. But times have changed, and a 13-year-old body is, like I just said, the mortality rates is insane. So biologically, it's proof right there. Child should not be having sex with an adult, period. Yes. The divorce rates, the domestic violence rates of children that are married before they're 18, it's like 80% end in divorce. They're twice as likely more to be victims of domestic violence. Most of these girls never go to school, so they are trapped. They don't have an education. All of a sudden, they have 6 kids, and they're living in a trailer park, and they're getting beat by their much older husband, or their husband leaves them, and it's heartbreaking. And until we end this, until we ban this, America is letting the world know that, guess what? It's okay to rape children as long as you marry them.
Yeah, that's the problem. I want to thank, first of all, Kelly Hansen for contribution, and also Sniper. Thank you so much. I can accept your questions for Athena. Somebody wants to ask a question for Athena. Now, that's the situation. What you just said, it is really amazing. That is what, the United States government is fighting right now, is fighting to keep freedom, is fighting to keep liberty, and all this stuff. And when other countries, like I look at the United States, I look at a country that is, is the greatest country that exists for me in the world. It's a beautiful country that has liberty, that has, all this capital that it can give you a better life, the American dream per se. And, now that you look at the United States and you see like who is going to do something about it. And if the United States of America, it's not, participating on stopping it, everybody, it's going to think that everybody is okay. As a leader of the world, the United States of America always puts the example of peace, always puts the example of going over there and fixing the problem, and stepping in there and correcting and doing what they need to do to correct this problem. And right now, as you're telling me, in Thailand is common. What you just told me about in India, for God's sake, in India, it's amazing, the religion, what they're doing. They found a way to mix the religion, to find a way to correct it, to make it look to society that is okay.
I think every religion is guilty of that.
Every religion. What do you think about the situation right now? And I don't want to get too much into this because you're not that type of lady that gets right into this conspiracy types. But as we were talking about, we're not focusing on the problem that is in society and is in our homes, but Hollywood. Hollywood is a huge market for this. And right now that a lot of these people are getting exposed, it's beginning to be an eye-opener in the United States of America. Do you think that is a positive note, or do you think that, all these people are just running away right now for their lives because they know that, a lot of U.S. citizens are waking up and they're understanding that Hollywood is part of this, ring, trafficking ring?
I definitely think it's been, when I think a lot of the people in Hollywood, especially the child actors and the ones that have grown up in it, not necessarily have just entered into it. I think that when you're immersed into a culture, everything about that culture kind of becomes normal to you. You don't really see it. You don't see the evil going on until you actually get out of it, or until you have a serious wake-up call. Now, as far as with the child actors, they were groomed from the time they entered Hollywood to this is just how it is. And as I don't think I like growing up in a cult. I get that, because you're sheltered, you're exposed to a completely different culture, and that's what you think is normal. And you have this male dominated career field where, a lot of the moms push the kids into it. A lot of the women absolutely feel 100% pressured. If I don't sleep with this guy, I'm not going to reach my dreams. And that it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting that someone would say, you have to have sex with me in order to be on this movie. Talk about egotistical monsters, narcissistic evil that goes on there, that grown men think that they have the right to tell a child, tell a female, tell anyone that you're going to do this. Something they don't want to do. And it's dehumanizing. They condition them. They groom them. And I think they don't really even realize how bad it is until they open their eyes or until they leave it. And I think that's what's going on right now, is everyone's starting to notice Everyone's starting to be like, put the spotlight on them, and they are getting nervous, as they should. But the damage has been done. The movies out there for, decades that have made it normal, made rape normal, made it they do it in little bits. It's grooming. They're
And
grooming the world.
yeah. And you were the one that told me that androchrome has been existing for since ancient history, and right now it is a complete distraction of the numbers that they are ridiculous for child that they're missing, and childs that they've been kidnapped, and childs that they're being raped. And everybody is androchrome. My God, look at Celine Dion's body. Oh my God, he's drinking Pizzagate. Ellen DeGeneres, the photo with the blood and the eye that is, that you got an eye that is all whatever. You get hit in the eye. All of this kind of stuff that is completely distracting us from the real problem. Now, you that experienced this, Athena, you're talking to a girl right now, a minor, that, what can you tell her right now if this is the situation that she's going through, or a typical or resembling a situation that you have explained? What can you tell her right now?
It's going to be okay. Take your power back. Enough is enough. I want to say that to them, but at the same time, it's like, I would probably share my own story. And I would say, look, this is what I've been through. I didn't want to live. Every single day I wake up and I wonder why I'm still here. It is a life sentence. That is why, I didn't want to get into it, but here's my opinion on, I'm not going to get into the sexual orientation or whatever, but here's my opinion on pedophiles. Imagine if they were a child that was born with AIDS because their mother did drugs when she was pregnant with them. They're born with HIV. It is a life sentence. There is no cure for it. And they decide to go knowing that they are going to sentence that person to life as well. They're going to go have sex with that person. They knowingly killed them. That's my opinion on pedophiles. They have a disease. I believe that. They are born with it. I believe that. I'm not going to get into the science. You can argue with me all you want, but that's absolutely what I believe. And I was raped by a pedophile. So if you think I can't, I can wrap my mind around it, so should you. And any pedophile that has relations with a child, they killed that child. That is how I view it. They killed that child. Because that child has to live with that for the rest of their life. It's not a 3-year sentence. It's not a 10 years in prison. It's life. That monster should never get out, ever.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I want to, and I don't want to, push it that much in that specific topic, because you are, my God, I don't want to get you into that emotion, because we know off camera, we talked about that.
Yeah.
And your body movement is just it's not anger, but it's of desperation that, it's not for you. It's, you want to do so much for other girls. Mm-hmm. That they are going through the same situation that you went through. Now, yeah. I want to ask you this. In Mexico, past president was 2 terms away, I think so. Vicente Fox was one of the ones that came in and said, every pedophile or every child molester or trafficker that it gets arrested is going to be put to castration, I think so is the word. Or mm-hmm. Is that the word?
There's 2 types. what's legal is chemical castration. It's
Okay.
basically
Cut it
chemical.
off.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
cut it.
Chemical is they don't have surgery castration. I can't remember the technical term. They have chemical castration, where
Now,
it's they inject you to completely remove the those urges.
oh wow.
So
Well,
it's not actual physical castration. That's not
well,
legal.
one of those suggestions was put over here by that president, which was not approved because the International Commission of Human Rights came in, and they get defending the human right of the male, that it was the aggressor. Now, one of the candidates for this last president said, "I'm bringing it back. I want to cut it off." And a lot of people were saying, "Is that what you just said?" The problem is not, it's not only cutting it off and then just 3-4 months later or 3-4 years later he's out. The problem is how you're going to resolve the life of the person that has just been damaged for probably the rest of her life. She lives, or he lives, with this terror all her life. Do you think in the United States of America they're lacking of programs for education or for task force to rescue all, the young girls and the young boys that they're being trafficked or abused?
Absolutely. This country's broken when it comes to our kids. So broken. And as far I have to retract my statement I said about from my knowledge, physical castration has not been legalized. I know it hasn't been in the United States. I'm not sure about other countries though.
In
I don't think
Mexico,
it has.
in Mexico, they were trying to do it.
I'm all for it. But then,
And
like, what happens? They still get out and they still have those. That's
urges.
who they're attracted to. They're gonna find child porn even if they can't actually commit. Do the act.
And the legal system in the United States of America, and I can tell you because I saw it. It is so unfair that a crime which is not considered a crime that for a sentence that you can say, oh my God, this crime deserved 10 years in prison. And you look at child molester in a federal system, or you look a abuser in the federal system, and you see his sentence for 2.5 years, 3 years. And the most amazing thing about it is that they play the psychological mind game. It happened to me. This has been, I've been affected by this. And that is kind of like a escape card for them. What do you think it could be the solution right there for the legal system to act accordingly and to really, do something about this? That it's my God, the legal system is really broken in the United States of America regarding justice for people that they are suffering this kind of crimes, and they don't get justice, Athena.
No, they don't. You talk about there are I can't remember the exact number, but like hundreds of thousands of untested rape kits in the United States. That means that women were raped. They went and reported it, did all the right things, went and reported it, went through probably the most evasive and painful mentally, physically, emotionally examination that they've ever gone through in their entire life. These exams take like 5 to 6 hours. And they did all the right things. They reported it, and those kits have not been tested, which means they have not been sent to the lab to be tested for DNA and other forensic evidence. And the reasons behind that are sex crimes units are understaffed. The police officer on the case didn't believe the victim. There's been cases where I think it was in Detroit where there were thousands of untested rape kits. I can't remember the exact number, but this one rapist finally got caught, and they tested his DNA, and one of the officers was like, "Why haven't these why haven't these been tested before? So they tested him. This man raped 11 women. It took 11 years. And that wasn't because they didn't have this guy before. They already had him before. It was because they didn't test the rape kits. 11 women told the truth. 11 women were ignored.
Holy cow.
And this is all over the place. And these are the reported cases. This doesn't take into account the non-reported cases. And in my opinion, from my experience, from my 20 plus years of research, from talking with countless numbers of rape victims, one of the huge reasons behind the lack of reporting is the majority of these cases are family members. And it's a lot easier to report a stranger than it is to report your brother, your dad, your uncle, your boyfriend. And that's the majority of rape cases. That's the majority of sexual assault cases. That's the majority of child sexual assault cases. 34% of child sexual assault cases are family members. I think it's like 96% like acquaintances or they know, and it's horrible.
Now, I want to ask you a question. I want to say thank you to, I know that it's overwhelming talking about this. When I talk about it, really, a lot of people don't understand. When I saw the things at the caravan, I remember what really moved me. It was a child that it was running around at a shelter, and he was a white child, and it was with some other people that didn't look like their father. So after that, I started like saying, this is something's wrong right here. And really, it is something that it drags you, Athena. Like you and me, we see eye to eye. It is something that is an adrenaline to fix it. It's something that is you can't stop. Like you want to fix it. You want to fix this because you have seen so much suffering of these kids and a lot of these people that are taking advantage of this situation. I want to thank Duke Gomez-Shemp for his contribution. Thank you for bringing us fresh news and insights. Thank you so much, Duke. I send you a huge hug. And thank you to Cindy also. But bringing back to this, I want to ask you a question. One of the last questions that I will ask you is, what do you think the punishment for these nonprofit organizations that they're making a profit out of making fake marriages and cheating on the loopholes that you have mentioned? There's a lot of loopholes, Athena, that immigration has. But what do you think of the punishment to all these nonprofits that they're making the fake marriages and fake families? What do you think that it should be done? Because all of these nonprofits, that's my anger, Athena, that they're coming from the U.S. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I get so angry because I look at the U.S. and it's the country of law and order. This should be fixed. Like you are seeing this in front of your faces, damn it. And it's not being stopped. So what do you think it should be for these people? Wow. How do you think this should be stopped?
Well, from the research I've done, especially with the migrant caravans and the nonprofits involved in that, most of them are they're immigrants. They either came from another country and live in the United States, or they don't view the U.S. as their home. Either that, or I can't wrap my head around it. And I do believe that some of these nonprofits do start out with good intentions. They get manipulated by wealthy people that have an agenda. I saw one example of this in like a foster care situation where they wanted to pass this bill. So they befriended a foster kid, they manipulated the kid, they made that kid the spokesman for their bill, but it was everything the kid didn't want. The kid didn't read the bill. So I think a lot of these organizations might be manipulated and being used for other people's political agendas and for their own reasons, not necessarily what the nonprofit had in mind. And I do think that they get taken advantage of. Some of them, others are just pure evil. And I also think that any organization, any good deed out there, or good, those good feeling careers, the pastors, the soccer coaches, the doctors, the the outreach ministers, and the after school. Evil people hide in plain sight. They find these organizations because they want to blend in. They often will be the one out there, and this goes back to criminology and forensics and everything. A lot of cases there, the actual criminal showed up to help with the case, or they were the rape counselor when they're actually raping the kids. They put themselves into positions where they'll not be questioned, and that's why they choose that. People infiltrate, and they get into these organizations, these NGOs that are good, and they use them to corrupt and to hide. They're wolves amongst the sheep.
Yes.
And they usually take over and run the herd. And
Yeah.
some of the people, when these organizations get too big for micromanaging and to really know what is going on in your organization, that's when it happens. That I've seen this in a lot of nonprofits. They get so big, they don't have the good people don't have their eyes on everything going on.
They lose the control. Yeah, so I want to thank you, Athena. Lastly, I want you to just what is the message that you get to all the young girls that are listening to you, and they're gonna listen to this video. First of all, and can you talk to us about your project that you got going on, as for the future?
Yes.
And particularly, I wanted to know your message to all the little girls that they're going through this situation right now, and that it's just what is it you think that they should do, but particularly what is your message to them?
Well, I am starting a nonprofit. Right now, it's going to take a while because I want to do it right, and I'm not a business person, so I'm learning as I go. But there's a big gap in education and knowledge of what is really happening out there to the children, and the reasoning behind it, and the grooming stages, and parental involvement, online predators, all that stuff. And a big goal of mine is to really empower them by educating them, telling them the truth about what's going on. I wish I had been told the things that I know now. I wish someone had told me, just because your parents don't love you doesn't mean you aren't lovable. Just because they didn't want you doesn't mean that no one ever will. People are so stuck on blood is thicker than anything else. Family comes first. That's when when hearing that, when your family's your abusers, it's really hard to take. And there are people out there that care about you. There are people that are going to come and help you. There are changes being made. There are people out there that will not stop until every single child is safe and rescued. And I'm one of them. And I want to tell all the girls out there that are going through hell, because that's what it is. It's hell. You can make it, and you can use it to become the strongest, most amazing person in the world. Use it to strengthen and empower yourself, because if you can get through what you've gone through, you can get through anything. And I'm living proof of that. You can have an amazing life. You can help rescue others. And I find so much healing and helping. And it means the world to me to be able to share my story with people, to give them hope, and prove that resilience is a thing, and that you can get through anything on this planet. Whatever life throws at you, you can get over it. You can use it to empower you and become stronger than ever. and just don't give up. Don't give up.
Thank you so much, Athena. Where can they find you if they want to send a message or they want to help you with your nonprofit or your mission now as a child rescuer in life? Where can they find you?
I put all of my stuff on my website, athenaives.com, just my name.com. And I am working on creating a comic book that features real life heroes.
Wow.
Most of them are veterans. And it's
Beautiful.
about sex trafficking. And it helps
Beautiful.
educate people. And then all my articles are there. I'm have a lot of articles on there that are very informative. I spend hours and hours on them. I get all my statistics and facts from peer-reviewed articles, from DOJ, DHS, all the government organizations on statistics. All the facts that I shared with you today on the immigration laws and the child bride and child marriages. I've actually had people question that because it's insane. It doesn't sound plausible.
No.
But that's the truth. Those are from Department of Homeland Defense. Those are from the Homeland Security. Those are from immigration laws currently in the United States. So those are all 100% truth. You can look up all of my information. I don't mind. I like that you fact check.
We go by the same idea, statistics and facts.
Yep.
I want to thank you so much. I want to say something before you go. You know, in my life, I had it rough, as particularly, you know, we share when we met our lives. They haven't been easy.
No.
But you know, I'm so glad that God sent me to meet you. Really, I'm so glad. You're a light in this light in this world.
I'm just kidding.
And really, you're a blessing for everything that you have gone through. My God, you have a huge heart. I admire so much people that they have gone through situations like what you have gone through. You know, single mothers and all these people that they, women, and particularly, I admire them so much because in the perception of the world, the man is supposed to be the strongest one. They're supposed to be the male that dominates the world, and we don't understand that idea is lost. And you know, we have women that they're superheroes like you. And I want to thank you so much for today. Hope that we can do this again. You know that I appreciate you, and I thank you for your service that you did for the greatest country that exists, that is the United States of America. But now your mission as an angel rescuing kids and all this stuff, you have absolutely my support, 100,000%, and all the audience that wants to contribute to your great cause right here. You can go find Athena at AthenaIves.com. Thank you again, Athena, and God bless you.
Thank you. All right.
We'll see each other later on.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
There you have it, people. I want to thank Susan Huber for their contribution. Also, I want to thank Ms. Janet Linga. Thank you so much. Let me go a little bit up in the comments. I want to thank also Nanette Kalahiki. Thank you so much. There's a lot of comments right here that I don't want to miss. I stopped the comments at one point. So, wow. My God. It's when you're talking about these topics, it drains you. When you're seeing in a caravan a child trafficked against his will, it hits you. When you see all these kind of situations that you're being in the presence of, and you see our government or the government of another country trying to do something about it or not doing anything about it, it is really difficult to understand. Really difficult. My God, it's so difficult. And I don't want to get political because I promised her that I was not going to get political with this. When she was live, Athena, you're not live anymore. But, you know, I will say one thing. God bless President Trump. My God, he's trying to do his best to fight all these ringleaders and all these people that they're trafficking children. And I told you guys, whenever a Republican messes up, I will give it to that Republican. Whenever a Democrat messes up, I will give it to that Democrat. But this is not a political problem. This is a problem in our societies. This is a problem in our world. This is a problem that doesn't have a political party. It does not matter if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. If this mindset of you abusing a child and trafficking a child and abusing a minor and having, the thought of taking advantage of a girl that is underage is in your mind, it doesn't have a political party, people. It does not have a color of a political party. It's just, we need to fix this problem. First of all, the immigration loopholes that exist in the United States of America, damn it, they need to be closed. My God, they need to be closed. One of them is immigration and asylum seeking that, through fake marriages and fake families, and, they can get more the advantage and more possibilities of getting the political asylum. The United States never denies the entrance to nobody, but for God's sake, you're using a loophole now. This marriage loophole, she is extremely knowledgeable of this. And I am like, wow, you are marrying an underage person. It's amazing. And it's occurring on 2020. Now, it is occurring now, not yesterday. It has been occurring for years, but it's still occurring till 2020, till today. And we're distracted from Epstein Island, adrenochrome or whatever it is. That is another problem. Those are problems also. Yes, they're problems. And the elite has to do a lot with this disgusting and humongous problem that is occurring. But until society itself, and to the problems in society itself, and into problems in your house don't get fixed, we cannot fix the world, people. It's exactly what we were saying in the morning. You want to receive all these people to help, but your country is not economically stable to help other people, but the people with them. How you gonna help people from the outside? It's exactly what is right here. We cannot fix problems that is occurring and around the world if you're not fixing inside. The United States needs to fix these loopholes, first of all, close these loopholes, first of all. Second of all, my God, there needs to be something, and somebody needs to put the example to stop this in countries like India, in countries like Thailand. Like she was explaining in Thailand, holy cow, holy smokes, man. Incredible, amazing. And it is day after day, we're seeing it. Really emotional statement by her that she went through a situation, that she went through a situation, it kind of like, I don't want to say it. She went through a similar situation. And God bless her heart. Over here, a military woman, an ex-military woman, an ex-military Marine combat woman, Athena Ives, not being afraid of waking up every morning and, and doing something about it. She went to school. She studied forensics, and she's doing now to save children. It takes a lot. Congratulations, Athena. God bless your heart. And a lot of it as comments right here. I will take Q&A for a moment. There's a comment right here that it has to do a lot with the problem. The news are a liar. Fake news, yes. A lot of fake news is out there. They don't talk about situations like this. It is secondary for them. It's not important for them. The trafficking of children, the abuse that they're suffering inside of a home, it's secondary for them. More important right now, it's George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, COVID that is not degrading the problem with COVID. COVID is a world problem. But for God's sake, like she was saying, let's balance this, man. Let's just balance this. Please, let's just balance. Let's just not put the child trafficking and the abuse of young girls into a shadow. And until the sun posts all the way to the west and it shines a little bit, I will talk about you. But in the meantime, in the east, it's days and days and days and years and years and years talking about the same problem. When you see abuse of a minor and child trafficking is a normal, situation. God bless every single one of you. Thank you so much. This has been a really interesting show. We are going to try to have every Wednesday or Thursday interviews with people that they are related to child trafficking, abuse of power, also abuse of sexual abuse, sex trafficking. Also, we are going to possibly have next week. I'm not going to promise this, but we're going to have a lawyer, an immigration lawyer, talk about what is going on with the loopholes and the sex trafficking that is occurring. I really want to talk about that also. We will be live on Super Chat on Saturday, talking about situations and how we can fix this problem. Also, we're going to have a different topic on Saturday, really important. I suggest that you guys want to watch me on Saturday on Super Chat. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to have videos also exposing what we have been doing with child trafficking and exposing the nonprofit organizations that they are basically doing this in front of our eyes. And a lot of them, like she's saying, started good, but I have seen it that they start good, they start helping. And as soon as money gets through their heads and they see that it's really easy, they get off track and they get lost. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody that contributed today. Miss Janet Linga, thank you, Oscar. It has been, this comment right here. Thank you, Oscar. It's been a great discussion, and thank you, everyone, for joining in this chat. Thank you so much for that comment. God bless you. Valerie McKinney says, God bless our strong President Trump. God bless it. Right here, Lady of Hay says, video rescue and freedom from children and women sold into trafficking with Mark Robinson. Okay, there's an option right there. Another comment right here. Kelly Hansen says, thank you, Oscar and Jan, for this chat. Thank you for joining us. Terry Christ saying right here, need lots of prayers. Well, lots of prayers we need, but most of it, we need action. We need to do something about it. Lily Garden says, thanks, Oscar. Thank you. Thank you to every single one of you. I'm about to say good night and goodbye to you guys. It's been a good show. God bless you all. Take care of yourself. Follow my partner, Conservative Anthony, at his page as Conservative Anthony at Facebook and also at YouTube as Conservative Anthony. You also can follow me at Facebook as Oscar L. Blue. And also you can subscribe to my channel and YouTube as Oscar Blue. Give it a like and share it. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Oh, this is another comment right here. And also, whoever, where is it? Ms. Patricia Borja right here. Oscar, reach out to Christine Kane. She also has an organization helping traffic of people. Ms. Patti Borja, if you can get me the contact, absolutely. And if she wants to do an interview, absolutely, we can do it. Absolutely. Yes. This is another comment right here. There's a lot of comment. Pinochet's helicopter. One of the things people are forgetting is these masks that everyone is wearing is making much easier for child trafficking. This is what it is about. Yes, I completely agree with you. Lisa Constanzi says, great show, Oscar. Thank you so much. CCNSD, thank you, Oscar, for bringing hard conversations into light. Thank you, and God bless every single one. Joanne Michael says, great show. Need show like this to educate people. Yes, these are the ones that we need. God bless you all. Thank you so much for everything and for this show. Stay safe, and like we say, peace and love, everybody, because always your country's first. God bless you all.